Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. In this lecture, we'll be seeing that India is about to red flag Pakistan. So why are we going to red flag Pakistan is what we will be discussing, and what will be the implications of this particular thing is also what we will understand. Now this red flag thing has come into news because recently the Pakistan government is in talks to purchase around 600 million worth of shares in NDB, that is New Development Bank. Now this bank has been established by BRICS nation. BRICS of course consists of India as well. The I in BRICS over here stands for India. So India is a part of this, and BRICS has established New Development Bank, of whose shares Pakistan is about to buy, about to take part in buying its share of close to $600 million. Now because of which India is probably going to raise red flag in an IMF meeting. So what is this linkage over here? We'll see that as well as the implications. Before we move on, a reminder about the current affairs compilation series, wherein the entire year's current affairs will be covered, specifically important for 2025 prelim students. Every subject will be covered along with the brief content notes. Now subsequent to prelims, very less days will be left for your mains examination. So the impact, that is intensive mains practice and content training program, can help you, in which comprehensive answer writing practice will happen, at the same time content enrichment sessions, and the most important thing, that is personalized feedback and mentorship, will be provided for all GS subject as well as for essays in about 34 sessions consisting of 50 hours plus of live classes. Having said that, let's now move on to the news and dig deeper. So since Pakistan is proposing to buy shares in New Development Bank, what is India's response? India's response is to raise a red flag in an IMF review meeting. In an IMF review meeting. So how are these things linked? Let us have a look. Has India done such thing previously? No, it has not. Then why it is doing it right now? In the recent past, India has not done it, but now India is about to do it because there is a concern that India has. Now, what is the concern? The concern starts not from the time that Pakistan started proposing to buy shares, but it goes long back. It goes some time back. So what has happened is last year, IMF has issued a $7 billion bailout package for Pakistan. Crisis hit Pakistan. Pakistan's economy is not doing well. It required money, so IMF had bailed it out by providing $7 billion worth of bailout. Okay, now up to here absolutely is fine. No issues with that. India does not have issue with it. We do not have any issue with it whatsoever. But then what is the problem? This $7 billion bailout package is provided for Pakistan to get itself out of the economic crisis. But what is Pakistan doing right now? It is proposing to buy around $600 million worth of share in NDB. So this buying of share is an investment. So instead of using this particular money to bail out its economy out of crisis, Pakistan is using this money to invest elsewhere, which is completely opposite with respect to the objective of the bailout package. As a result of which, India is going to raise a red flag in the IMF meeting. Now, what meeting is this about? This IMF meeting is nothing but a review meeting. Now, what kind of review meeting? Review meeting of whose? Of India? No, of Pakistan. Since IMF has given a bailout package of $7 billion, it is not given completely. It is going to give in tranches in different sections. So before it can give out the next section of the money, which is a part of $7 billion package, it is going to review the amount that that Pakistan has spent, and where it has spent, how it has spent, what is the impact of that expenditure, so on and so forth. And if the review goes ahead smoothly and they realize that the expenditure was properly done, then only the next tranche of the money will be provided to Pakistan, or else it will not be provided. So this is the review that is going to be happening by IMF of the Pakistan's economy and its expenditure. Now, during this review meeting, when it happens, India is going to raise a question that, boss, if you have taken a bailout package, how can this country spend in investment rather than helping itself out of the economic crisis? So this is the conflicting thing which India is about to point out in the IMF review meeting. I hope that's clear. Now, if that happens, what are the implications? When India points that out, what implications can be there? Let us have a look. The first thing is economic implications for Pakistan. Because when India is going to raise that issue, that is going to prove a hurdle in IMF's funding. What hurdle? As I said, the entire $7 billion is not given, only part is given, other part is remaining. Now that part IMF may not go ahead with it. It will say, that's it, done, I may not give you any further funding. So IMF funding can be met with hurdles because of India pointing out raising a red flag in the review meeting. That is one thing. If so, that would be probably the worst economic implication for Pakistan. But there can be other implications which is not that bad but still can be an issue. What is that? Tighter IMF conditions. Now see, generally whenever IMF gives loans, gives money, for example, it comes up with a lot of condition, right? What conditions, what kind of conditions are there over here? They have asked Pakistan to increase the private sector, to privatize certain things. Pakistan International Airlines is there. It has asked to disinvest in it, sell it off. All those conditions are there over Pakistan in order to get the entire bailout project, bailout money. Now, when India raises more concerns, these particular conditions can get even tighter for Pakistan. I hope that is absolutely clear. Now, the third thing that can happen is, so these 2 points are directly related to the IMF. Now, a third thing can also happen is that it can impact foreign investments. Means what? See, foreign investment may become reluctant to invest in Pakistan. Why? Because economy was hit with crisis, definitely. But at the same time, Pakistan is getting money for certain things, but doing certain other things with it. That means Pakistan is basically siphoning off money. It is like you taking a loan to construct a house, but you started buying bikes and cars, etc. You took a loan to do business, but you are enjoying gambling, drinking, etc. So what is happening? You are not utilizing the money for which you got the money. You are siphoning off the money. So that will not help the cause. That will create more concerns, more issues. It will not get your economy out of crisis. As a result of which, see, when $7 billion package was announced, the investors' sentiment would have gone up, but now realizing that Pakistan is spending somewhere else, it may again go down, as a result of which there will be impact on foreign investments. Now, apart from economic impact, of course, there can be diplomatic impact as well. What is the most important diplomatic impact over here? Strained India-Pakistan relations. Right? Of course, it will strain India-Pakistan's relation. But because of it, should we stay back and not raise a finger? Probably not. We should still go ahead and point it out. Because keeping the relationship proper, or at least unstrained or less strained, or reducing the strain, is a two-way street. You know, if let's say if I am giving you respect, you should also respect me. If I am following the rules, you should follow the rules as well. So it's a two-way street. The onus of ensuring that there is no strain in the relationship cannot always be on India. So we should remember that as well. However, here if we raise that concern, of course it will strain the relations which are already highly strained. Having said that, increased geopolitical tensions can be there. Now, what do we mean by geopolitical tensions? See, what will then happen is Pakistan will then try to mingle more with its allies like China, for example, which does have animosity kind of tendencies towards India, right? And may incline towards them even more, stay invested or ask for help from China, etc. even more, and more amalgamation of these kind of allies of Pakistan, as a result of which there will be other tensions, other issues erupting, because there will be a groupism or group that will be formed with Pakistan and its like-minded friendly, Pakistan's friendly countries, right? As a result of which putting certain pressure on India. But not a problem, India will then have its own allies. So but we will also form alliance, we also do have alliance, but then because of all these reasons, what will happen? Geopolitical tensions may escalate. Then you have global perception of terror financing issues. So Pakistan, has been always criticized, and it is probably a thing which is known that there has been terror financing which is there. In fact, not, and because there are conflicting things also happening in that country, what is happening is Pakistan gets a lot of funding for eradicating terrorism from its soil. Now that funding exists, why? Because terrorism is there, you need to eradicate. Now just imagine, let's just imagine that one fine day Pakistan ensures that entire terrorism is wiped out from its soil. If that happens, will the funding for eradicating terrorism continue? No, it will not. So there is an inherent conflict in this funding to eradicate terrorism. Anyway, that is a different discussion altogether, but that raises the question here also, because funding is for one thing, but you are doing something else with it. And if you take so much more money, where will you be investing? That remains a question mark, because you are not investing in bailing yourself out of the crisis. You are investing somewhere else. Probably you will invest somewhere else as well. So that is what it is all about. Now, strategic implications for India. Now, pressure on Pakistan to reform. When India, see, we have seen the negative side of India raising a flag that Pakistan can become more, have more animosity, and it can lead to more tensions. But it can also ensure that Pakistan mends its ways and probably start spending it correctly. So pressure can be there on Pakistan as well to reform itself. I hope that's absolutely clear. Then you have stronger influence in global financial institutions. When India points this out, which is rightly so, India can going forward have greater roles in global financial institutions, like right now it is trying to have. And of course, there can be potential backlashes from countries which are sort of allies of Pakistan. All that thing can happen. What other implications? There can be impact on South Asian stability, risk of escalation, many other countries getting involved, Pakistani allies from Pakistan side, India has its own allies from our side, so the tension and risk can escalate. And regional economic consequences, negative consequences generally it can also have with respect to regional trade, etc. So all these implications can arrive out of it. The best way forward should be that Pakistan mends its ways and utilizes the money for the correct use. Thank you.